A few years ago, I woke up to the fact that there's more to life than what we've been told. Exploring a new spiritual path, I stumbled upon Moldavite. This is where our story begins. You are invited as I share not only my own personal journey, but also talk with people just like you that have been working with Moldavite. We have some amazing things to share, so please join us. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Levi, the Moldavite guy here. Welcome once again to the Moldavite Podcast. Today is September 13th, 2018, and this is episode 13 of the podcast. Okay, so I want to make a quick announcement, and then we'll get into today's show. If you noticed, some of the audio and video quality has been kind of off the last few episodes. You've been following the podcast here maybe from the beginning. It's because my other computer got stolen, and I had really good audio editing software and video software that I was using to make the videos. So when that happened, it caused all kinds of disruptions in my electronic life. But I think it was Moldavite working its magic in my life, kind of telling me to focus on making Moldavite jewelry and stuff like that. So anyways, announcement one. Announcement two. So I'm going to be having a giveaway coming up here in October 2018. So stay tuned to the very end, and I'll show you or tell you how you can get in on that. So for today's show, if you notice, I'm out here in nature. Again, I just really love exploring out here. But so for today's show, we are actually going to be making a high vibe Moldavite Scoby. Now, for those of you that don't know, a Scoby is used to make kombucha. Now, what is a Scoby? So a Scoby essentially is, actually, let's back up. So Scoby stands for symbiotic culture of, I took notes. Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. And essentially what the Scoby is, it's this living, again, bacteria and yeast that essentially consumes sugar and caffeine, and it produces this really, really good drink with lots of probiotics, really good for you. And so so essentially the Scoby itself, there are two components primarily in there. So the yeast consumes the sugar and breaks it down into carbon dioxide and ethanol. And the bacteria works with the yeast by consuming the ethanol and turning it into acid. So it's essentially like a vinegar kind of thing with lots of probiotics. So again, for those of you that are new to making kombucha, or maybe you already know about kombucha but didn't quite know a lot about the Scoby, there's a little bit of the science there. So the Scoby is it's kind of like starter yeast for yogurt in a way, except what it does, again, it consumes the caffeine and the sugar that's in the tea to make kombucha. So when I wanted to, actually, I used to make some of this years ago, but I didn't make it with Moldavite. This time I made it with Moldavite. Everything's better with Moldavite, right? So all right, what I did was I tried to find a Scoby, and people told me that there's actually a store in this area that I could go, but I never ended up doing that. And so, long story short, I ended up deciding to make my own because I had some trouble trying to find one. I wasn't quite sure where the store was at, what it was called. It's just hearsay, more or less. And so, again, the Scoby I decided to make is a special one, because if you think about it, Scoby it's literally alive. And so the Scoby making sure we're not going to get more rain. The Scoby, it's literally alive. So it's kind of like adding Moldavite to water, but on kind of the next level. So think about it. The human body is made up of primarily of water. I think some things I read online up to 80% of water, and depending on the age that you are, more or less, of that. But anyways, so the point I'm trying to make is that we carry Moldavite, the pendant form or ring or whatever you like to keep it with you, and you can definitely tell that it's working in your life in various different ways, especially if you're more energy sensitive. And so the more I thought about that, the more I really liked the idea of doing something like that. So that's what I did. So I created a Scoby from scratch, again, because I could not find a Scoby. And so today's show, you're going to see exactly how I did that. And so if you want, you could do something very similar for yourself. So check it out. All right, it all begins by brewing some tea. Now here's everything you're going to need. Got some Moldavite, some raw kombucha, an empty jar, and of course the tea. Now, this is kind of a little extra step I like doing, at least for this here, is clearing the Moldavite with sound. And for any of you guys that are kind of into the sound healing, this is 528 hertz tuning fork. And this is a Slfeggio frequency. Slfeggio frequencies are actually thought to be the original musical scale before they were changed. And this frequency is 528 hertz. It's known for DNA repair, and it's also well known as the love frequency. So it's kind of the heart chakra tone. So it just seemed like the best one to use for Moldavite. Of course, I've used this tuning fork and this frequency in other projects that I've done. Also used this tuning fork and frequency for the Moldavite oil that I made. Okay, again, thoroughly cleansing these with sound, even though Moldavite is self-cleansing as it is. Still, it can't hurt to just put in any extra care, any extra love that you can, because of course this growing this Scoby from scratch, it's literally a brand new living organism. So I wanted to give it as much positivity and positive energy as I could. Okay, next up, pouring the tea into the jar. Very important, you must make sure that the tea has cooled down to room temperature. Actually, when I did this, it was slightly above that. And actually, you can see the jar kind of steam up. But anyways, make sure that the tea is cooled down to room temperature. Okay, so back to the Moldavite here. All of the Moldavite was thoroughly sanitized. So I washed these with each individually with plenty of soap and water. Now I just added the Moldavite to the tea. Oh, forgot about the tea. The tea is so it's basically sweet tea. You can use honey or sugar. In this case, I used honey to sweeten the tea, because kombucha requires sugar and caffeine, and so that's what the Scoby actually feeds on. That's what it grows on. So, okay, right here, I'm taking the fruit out of this jar of kombucha. This is what I'm actually going to use to create the new Scoby. This is like the Scoby starter. And a quick note about if you're creating your own Scoby, you want to use the entire contents of the kombucha, and you want to make sure that it's live probiotics, not processed or whatnot. So you just add the entire contents of the starter kombucha from an unopened container, and so there we go. Now the empty jar is filled with tea and kombucha. So next you want to cover up the jar with like a paper towel or cheesecloth. You gotta allow it to breathe, and also to make sure that no bugs get in there. Of course, it's vinegar solution, so it's quite delectable to some. Alright, so next you want to place the jar where it won't be disturbed for about 2 weeks. That's all there is to it. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed that. I certainly had a lot of fun making not only the Scoby, but also these videos here, this video. So the contest that I was talking about, if you would like to make your own Moldavite kombucha, and you would like actually to get one of the Scobies that I made with the original Moldavite energy, I'm giving those away, because of course the Scobies literally double every time you make the kombucha. And so I've got a couple of Scoby hotels, and they are multiplying like rabbits. So I'm giving them away. I don't know exactly how many I'm going to have, but I would guess I'll have at least 10. So for right now, I'm going to say at least 10 to start off with that I'll be giving away, maybe more. And I'll announce that come October. So right now, if you'd like to get an early start on the giveaway and you want to start making your own kombucha, then go to, actually no, let me back up. So 3 easy steps. So easy a caveman could do it. Alright, so step number 1, post a comment in any one of my videos. Step number 2, go check out the website, moldavitelife.com. No spaces, no hyphens or anything like that, just moldavitelife.com. Step number 3, click on the contact page, send me an email, and put in the title, "It's Alive, October Moldavite Scoby." And I'm not gonna ding you if you get the misspellings or anything like that. Just again, okay. So step number 1, post a comment on any one of my videos. Number 2, go check out the website. Number 3, click on contact and send me an email with the subject line of "It's Alive, Moldavite, October Moldavite Scoby." And very important here, put your YouTube name in the email so that I can link back and know exactly who posted. So do those 3 things, and you got a kind of a head start on the contest. And so again, there's not too many people checking out the videos yet. So if you think about it, you've probably got a really good chance of getting one of these, because I mean, figure if 100 people view the video and 1 out of 10 posts, you know, you've got a really good shot at getting one of these Scobies. So Again, if you want to make your own Moldavite kombucha and you would like one of mine for free, Free, free 99, I will include that. Okay, that's the contest. You get a free Scoby. I may ask if you can help for shipping, but other than that, it's absolutely free, no cost. Anyways, there you go. It's episode 13 of the Moldavite Podcast. And until next time, you guys have a good one.